Morning. Can you all hear me at the back? I actually only had 10 minutes to present such a complicated stuff. And I couldn't understand on how to do it. So I thought I will show you a snippet of what we presented and showcased at NRF, which is the mecca of retail in the world. So that was NRF 2017. And all that we talked about since morning, we talked about artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoTs, and digital assistants were all there. So I'll, in the next 7 to 10 minutes, try to talk about what's the solution which can empower all the aspects that we talked about in the morning. Okay? Let me start with, what does Microsoft do every single day? Our mission is to empower every individual and person and the organization on this planet to do more and achieve more. Let me talk about 3 phrases from here. Every person, every organization, and achieving more. Every person is all of you, your colleagues, your employees, your peers in this room or back in the office. Every organization is the organization you work for, or you run, or you own in this world. And achieving more is not about your top lines, the way we look at it. It's not necessarily about your bottom lines and profitability, but it's also about customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, and the ability to do a business process faster, better, and in a more secure environment. This brings me to one of the biggest topics of discussion today, which is digital transformation. If you have been following this, the chairman of the World Economic Forum calls it the 4th revolution, the 4th industrial revolution. Just to recap the first 3, the first one was the steam engine, the second one was the electric bulb invention, the third one was about microprocessors and computers, where Microsoft had a humble contribution, and the 4th one is about digital transformation. And I think the whole panel spoke about it because it's the amount of constructive disruption it's bringing about in the industry, the power going back into the hands of the consumers, how you're changing your entire thought process to be able to take to consumers better. I mean, you saw an example. That lady talked about 5 or 6 characteristics she wanted as a consumer. And the person who is running the organization said, I will give that debrief to the organization back there. And that's the difference which this era is bringing in. Digital transformation to us starts with the platform. It's the ability to do what you want to do at any point of time, at any place, on any device in a secure environment. And that's where we started with the cloud. You know, if you followed the entire cloud era, Satya Nadella and Modi got into a pact, and we introduced the cloud and our services on the India data center 2 years before time, 2 years ago. The second one is where we talked about personal as well as personalized computing. That's the ability to do your applications or your business process or whatever you want to do in the way you do it the best in the device in which you are most familiar with. Because that brings in adoption and that brings in usage. A technology is a tool, and a tool will be as good as people using it and as good as the data which empowers it. And that's where that personalization comes in. The third element of digital transformation is what was spoken about on the panel. It's about collaboration. It's about productivity. It's about how people collaborate within themselves to be more productive, as well as collaborate across the organization to be more productive as a team. All of these, for us, sit on 4 fundamental pillars. The first pillar is engagement with your customers. I think this question was asked to the panel and many people spoke about it. And I think this question was also asked to the panel is, do we know what our consumers is saying? The answer is absolutely yes. And I think it was a very good example where he stood up, the moderator, and asked the questions, what are the things that you people want as a consumer? And there were 6 people who stood up and said something. So today, the technology empowers that information to be captured for an organization and people can see it and act on it. And that's where the CRM system comes in. The next is about empowering your employees. That's where, again, comes in a CRM system, and from our perspective, this is our top-end retail automation product called Accepta, which basically empowers the employees to give you all those pieces of information which you're looking for as a consumer. And I think one of those people spoke about it. I think it was a lady out there, where you should be able to understand me whether I'm in your online space or whether I'm in store, and be able to treat me as the same customer. And that's what this enables you to do. The third aspect is about optimizing your operations. This is the entire aspect of your ERT, your retail operations, distribution, dealer management systems down to the POS level. And the fourth aspect of it is what my NASCOM friend talked about, was about the aspect of artificial intelligence, IoTs, and chatbots, and machine learning, and business intelligence, which picks up the pieces of information which you learn throughout the value chain and brings it back into the organization to make your product and service better. So if the fit is not good, coming back to your example, if the service is not good, if the price is not good, and that particular piece of information is captured somewhere, that intelligence needs to come back into the company to saying, this is why people walking into your store are not buying your product. And it's simple to understand, as long as there is one platform which automates all of them. If I talk about this in the retail journey, I'm sorry, I've got to move around because this is not working. So this is a particular journey of a consumer across the entire retail store. I'll just walk you through this journey. And whatever I'm sharing out here is practical, doable, technology and business can do this if they work hand in hand together. The journey starts when you launch a digital campaign, and all of you people today launch digital campaign. You go and put your advertisements on Google. You go and put your advertisements on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitters, correct? That's because you are trying to capture an attention of an individual or a consumer or a prospect whom you don't know. And I repeat, this is when you don't know that person. This is an anonymous person. But the person comes out here, probably he does a search, let's say jeans, correct? And he comes to Pepe Jeans, and he starts following it. Or he says trendy fashion, and something comes out there and they start following it, right? They land into your website, or they land into somewhere where you basically want them to land. And you're trying to capture pieces of information. I don't know how many of you have seen it. You have gone and done a search. Let's say you have been trying to search for a ticket from Delhi to Bombay. And after that, you go to a different site, or you go to moneycontrol.com, or you go to LinkedIn. You will see an advertisement keeps following you. Do you notice that? Right? Because somewhere, even though they don't know you, they have captured your interest. And it continues to follow you. And if you are there at the right place at the right time, at some point of time, that particular anonymous consumer will give you that piece of information. It comes back to registration. That's when you know the consumer, you know the customer. And then you can immediately go and call up the customer, or you link to the customer through chatbot, or an email, or a personalized call, and you start interacting with the customer, and you get into the sales journey. That's when you come into the sinusoidal curve. When you give a personalized service, that's what the lady out there talked about, okay? When you're able to understand what am I looking for and give that right product at the right price, probably the prices are already set, but in the way it is convenient to the consumer. Once you have sold the particular product, we talked about queue busting, right? Every individual person, and that's why we call them not sales agent, we call them commerce agents, in the shop floor should be able to bill you. Why do you need to go into a queue to one POS to do billing? You can do billing from your mobile phone because all those features are applicable to you. You can do billing from your tablet as long as it is out there. If you can do it online, you can do it in the store as well. That's when you do billing, and then you deliver the product. And this is taking an example of a manufacturing product. It can be anything. It can be Havells, it can be Bajaj Electrical, where you actually deliver the product, you service the product, and then you have IoT services which constantly picks up pieces of information coming back to artificial intelligence and proactive service to be able to give you service better. And at the end of the journey, if you see, you go back to the social world where a consumer will basically tweet about you, or go to mouthshut.com and talk about you, or go to anywhere and basically talk about whether they're happy or not happy with the service. For many people who think that it does not exist in the world, you should really go to Twitter and actually check how Anand Mahindra tweets. He really does. He's one of the biggest tweeters out there. And look what? His products are really doing well because the consumers see that there is somebody out there who is listening and who responds. And it happens. You can just go to Twitter and you can see this. If you come back on this journey, the journey was very simple. It can be broken into 3 steps. The first step was when you are trying to attract an anonymous consumer or a prospect to your shop or to your website. The second process, when you identified the person and you converted the interest into a sale. And the third process, where you continue to do cross-sells and upsells, you basically increase the wallet share. When you increase wallet share across so many consumers, you increase your market share. And that's what you are in the business of, correct? If you also look at this journey very closely, this journey was paperless. This journey can be cashless. And of course, with Paytm and the Prime Minister speaking so much about the digital economy, this will become cashless. And this entire process had less people, because when you come to chatbots, right, you basically interact with more consumers through artificial intelligence and intellectual chatbots. Something which is paperless, something which is cashless, something which has less people is nothing but digital transformation. Make sense? Okay, so let's come to how do we do with it. All these red dots and the green dots and the blue dots were pieces where there was automation. That's where technology and human beings come together and interactions come together. From our perspective, a part of it is done by Adobe, which is our digital marketing partner. And you all know of the collaboration we have had with Adobe worldwide. All the green aspects are done by the Dynamics platform. And the blue aspects are done by Azure, which is the platform on which Microsoft applications sit. Okay? And that's the entire journey. So basically, our solution, and you know, we talked about all concepts and we talked about business in the morning, but from a technology perspective, the solution covers everything from manufacturing, that's the ERP, goes down to distribution when you ship those products to distributors, goes down to your dealer and channel management system, where you look at secondary sales and tertiary sales, goes down to your stores, what we call as digital stores, whether online, whether in the store, and ends at POS. And throughout this entire journey, we have the CRM system, which basically takes care of the entire consumer experience and captures what our moderator spoke about. Can we actually know what the customer wants, what the customer is happy with, or what the customer is not happy with? Make sense? You're with me? I just have 2 more minutes left. Okay. Now, what we have done this year, okay, so as a part of our innovation is, we basically converged the ERP and CRM together into what we call as a Dynamics 365, which is very close to Office 365. And basically what this does, it does every aspect of that automation you can think about, whether it's inventory, whether it's procurement, whether it's in-store management, whether it's merchandising, whether it's shipment, it's warehousing, etc. All the way down to the CRM levels of understanding the customer, okay? It's not about just loyalty, but it's about customers and understanding the customer journey and experiences and capturing all of those. And then this natively links with Office 365. And there was a question asked at the panel, where does collaboration comes in? This is where collaboration comes in. This is where productivity comes in. So from the CRM system itself or the POS itself, you can calendarize something and that goes into your calendar. From your Outlook, you can use the CRM system. From the CRM system, you can use Outlook. You can collaborate. You can send Word or PowerPoints or Excels. It's all coming together into one tool because that ushers in productivity. And my NASCOM friend spoke about this very important thing. It's about one platform trying to do most of the things. The problem where this breaks down is when you have silos of information. And then you're trying to have another project to put all the information together, because that breaks your 360-degree view of the customer, that breaks your entire journey into different hurdles, right? And then we bring all of this together on one platform on the cloud in the India data center, which is completely secured and you know, goes through all the government regulations and rules. With this today, over the past 3 years, we have got 59 customers serving 79 retail brands, 28,000 users of the application across 15,000 retail stores using the application day in and day out. And they range from anything. The Bharti Airtel retail shops run on Dynamics. Mother Dairy Fruits and Vegetables run on Dynamics. SSIPL, which is the master franchisee of Levi's, Nike, Lotto, runs on Dynamics. Aditya Birla retail specialty shops, whether you take Van Hoosen, Louis Philippe, Peter England, Alan Solly runs on Dynamics. Pantaloons, which is a huge supermarket, runs on Dynamics. So we have got 59 specialist retailers which runs in. Online, offline, and all of those aspects that we spoke about. So I thought I will just take 5 minutes to at least brief you what can technology do for you in this entire business journey today. And we hope that at some point of time, we'll be able to serve you in your digital transformation journey too. With that, thank you very much.